here? How long has this thing been on the market? Oh my, 568 days. What the heck are they doing? Clearly not selling this thing. Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the weekly deal analysis here in the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. Each and every week, I jump on here, pick a random house off the internet, and I analyze it for a cash deal and a creative deal. Let's get into it. This week, we are diving into Macon, Georgia. 1015 Haywood Road in Macon, Georgia, 31211. I found this house. It's probably one of the cheapest things I've seen advertised on the market in a very long time. They are only asking $29,900 on this. It's a two-bedroom, one bath, 672 square feet. So real small, little shack, but I think it could make a perfect rental. Let's look at the pictures of this thing because at that price and just seeing some of the outside stuff, this place is going to need a lot of work. So let's dive in. So they're boarded up. We need definitely some windows there. That is one fancy looking picture there. We got some chipping, peeling paint on the outside. The roof actually looks in pretty good shape. Yard's maintained. So we got gas, a couple of satellite dishes. Looks like a wellhead there. Not sure what that structure is in the back, but I think the shed's nice and clean. That thing's got a metal roof on it too. Ooh, here we go. All right, so flooring is ripped out, and if it's not, it's really destroyed carpet and it's going to need new stuff in there. Uh, Bathroom. It looks like they patched a bunch of drywall in here. And the tub definitely needs to be cleaned. And you can reglaze it. You don't have to pull the whole thing out and redo everything in there. But it's only tiled up to here. So we'll cross that bridge in a minute. Yeah, so I mean, they were definitely doing some work in here. You can tell by the work, all the mud work and the drywall work on the ceilings. Gas water heater probably needs to be replaced. There's part of the kitchen. And so overall, this thing needs everything. Your electric panel. This is probably a washer and dryer hookup, if I had to guess. I mean, for this square footage, it actually seems like a pretty decent shell. It's got some built-ins. I personally love some built-ins. All right, what else can we find on here? How long has this thing been on the market? Oh my, 568 days. What the heck are they doing? Clearly not selling this thing. What do we got in here? Comments to make home inspection was complete on about a year and a half ago now. Requested we will give it to you for free. I bet you will. That long on the market. That's like a year and a half on the market. Not use showing time agent only. Wow. So I think this would be great for a creative purchase. Because if they're trying to sell for $30,000, there's probably no mortgage on it. So I think this would be a great seller financed, ranging from, well, Zillow is saying this thing's worth almost 50,000. If it was cleaned up, I would probably agree with that. But in the current condition it's in, clearly it's not even selling for $30,000. Top line ARV according to Zillow is 65. Let's see what else we can see here. Well, they had it up for sale. Looks like they had a contract on it. And then that, I guess, just fizzled out. Property taxes are 365 days. days, $365. So it's literally your property taxes are $1 a day. That's insane. All right, what do we got around the area here? Looks like we have one that's also active at 66. Take a look at that one. One picture. How do people expect to sell stuff with one picture? Seriously, 308 days. Well, that's clearly not working on that one either. What else? Some sold. What's this 50? When did this close? No offering 200. That's a rental information. Zillow's saying this one's worth almost 100. Two or double the square foot. Let me just see what this thing sold for, excuse me, when it sold. Rent pricing. Looks like they rented it for $925. They originally was on it. Sold, here we go, $50,000 in 2022. All right, so we don't know what the condition was back in 2022, but 145,000. Oh goodness. And then rents. So they rented, looks like in March of 23, rented for $895. It's like they keep trying to get way too much in rent and then literally just waste time on the market. So every month, if you're pushing as a landlord, if you're pushing for that extra $100 to $200 a month, if you sit and hold on the market and you have to carry that property for one more month, that just costs you a whole lot more than it would for that extra $100 a month. I do it to myself more times than I would care to admit, but price it right. Stop trying to push rent prices all the way through the roof. If you go with a median price, you're going to get a better quality tenant, you're going to get a better long-term tenant, and you're going to have a whole lot less issues. Now, I'm not saying that from, my high horse, but I've been doing this for 19 years. And everything I've learned from my own properties and my clients' properties, yes, I am an agent as well. Um, that strategy seems to work the best for rentals. Every time we try to push the price on anything, we get horrible applications, horrible credit, not enough income. But if you price it at the right price, and that should be something that you and your property manager or your agent should discuss to figure out. Tangent over. Let's jump back into this. Oh, boy. All right, so we know that sold for $50,000 a couple years ago. So, and I forgot to look at the square footage of that. All right, 840, and we're at, right, so more square footage. What else do we got going on in that area? This 100 that's sold. Active under contract. All right, so this will give us 840. So still more square footage, 3 bedrooms, but this will give us a really good indicator to figure out our ARV or after repair value. New kitchen, which we're gonna need. New floors, which we need. New bathroom. All right, so this does have one additional bedroom, which we have to factor in for that, but this sucker went for 100,000. Lose my property. Oh man. Sorry, I got a little click happy on the back button, so I had to go draw this property back up. All right, so I would say ultimately knowing that the really nice one that's a little bit bigger recently sold for 100,000, and that was this one up here. So a little bit bigger, everything was new, and that sold for just under 100. So once we put everything new in ours, it's one bedroom less. Ultimately, I'm going to go with our ARV is going to be $80,000. So what's our ARV? After repair value. Got it. ARV is going to be 80,000. All right. Let's go back and look at our pictures to try to figure out a rough budget on renovations. So ultimately, the roof looks like it's in good shape. We do need windows. We do need siding. We do need flooring. We do need paint. We do need a kitchen, and we do need a bathroom. All in, I don't know what typical labor rates, labor rates are in this area. So we're gonna guesstimate start to finish, this whole thing is probably gonna require about $40,000. So our renos, 40,000. So if our ARV is at 80,000 and we're going to offer a cash price of 70% minus repairs, let's pull up our calculator. Any of you math whizzes out there, I'm sure you already figured it out, but I went to public school and I need to use a calculator. Times 70% is 56,000. And we said our renos were 40,000. That gives us an offer price of $16,000. Could you imagine buying a house for $16,000? That's incredible. All right. Now, our next step, we're going to jump over to the Invest Nest. If you followed along at all, you know I love using the Invest Nest. This is great software that I have partnered up with. Um, it's just phenomenal software. It's super simple. It's very cost effective. I think it's like 15 bucks a month. My link will be down below if you want to try it out. You get a week for free. And also, if you use my code Chris Thompson Real Estate at checkout, you get 50% off the first month. So you can book a demo, you can take a tour through the whole system, you can do property searches, which mostly I use this for. It also has a really cool calculator that we'll get into. Pipeline, every property that I've looked at, properties that I've saved, um, properties I'm analyzing, properties that I've made offers on. And you don't have to jump back and forth. Like if I just want to move this over here, boom, that's simple. So it's kind of like a CRM as well. So you don't have to keep bouncing back and forth. If I can add them to my portfolio, I can throw them in archived. It just has a ton of useful information. One feature that I think is going to blow up, but it's still fairly a new software. So these groups, so they do weekly webinars. There's other groups on here. I do have mine on here. Yep. Sub Two and Friends. So I host a meetup here in Mount Airy, Maryland, and make friends, make events, and just a really good user-friendly platform. So let's pull this address up and get to diving. Already pulled up here. And boom. All right. So this is the overall pre-analysis step that I take. Gives us an estimated value, an estimated rent. I do like seeing that. Owner details, if I want to skip trace it, I do it right in here. Literally just push that button and it will skip trace it, give me the seller's contact information. They don't charge extra for it either. It's just included in the monthly fee. It's another bonus that most other sites charge for, or most sites don't even offer that. Finance details, no mortgage on it. See if we can figure out when this actually sold originally. 23 for 48,000. Sales and mortgage. Here's what I'm looking for. This closed. This thing's been on and off the market for almost 2 years. Hmm. Location, Bibb County. That will come into play when we check out the HUD website. Property details. Built in 54. One. A lot of this stuff we've already found on Zillow. So next, I'm going to go over to the calculator. And we're going to call this 1015 Haywood. All right, our purchase price, well, our offer price is going to be $16,000. Closing costs, I'm going to do 4% because we're paying both sides. Hard money costs, for $16,000, I think I don't know. What do you think? Do we do hard money and get our loan fees and everything, or our renovation fees and everything built in? I think we do. So we'll leave our 2 points in here. Actually, that's such a low amount. They're probably going to want 4 points, which is still nothing. We said it's going to take $40,000 to renovate. I do want to include that in my loan. My down payment is going to be 20%. And I want a 30-year, at least a 30-year amortized loan. And rates are probably going to be around 8% because it's such a low amount. You got to entice somebody enough to honestly entice the bank enough. You know what? We're not going to use a bank. We are going to use our private lender. So that's going to be at 12,000. There's 12,000. It's going to be at 12% interest. There are no points, but there are going to be some fees. So we'll leave our closing cost there and we'll take our points down to 1 point. If you're confused on any of this, let me know. Just drop me a comment below and I'm happy to explain deeper of how I figured all of that. I was wondering what was throwing me a red flag. So it's telling me that my interest rate cannot be above 10%. So that's one thing that I need to talk to Travis about to see if we can't up that. So we're going to base this that we got really good private money lender rates, and we've got 10%, just so we can work through this. All right, so our zip code is 31211, and we're in Bibb County. So now I'm going to jump over to the HUD website, and I'll show you start to finish on how I do that. So here's the HUD site. I have everything pulled up, and we're going to be in Georgia. Then it rolls over and brings up all the counties. This is in Bibb County. And we have a 2-bedroom. So for the Invest Nest is saying $969, and HUD is saying they will pay a max of $1,252. So I think we bump our rents up to just 1,000. And property taxes are super cheap. Insurance, I don't see it being more than $1,200 a year. Management fee is going to be 10%. All of our utilities are going to be on the tenant. War chest reserves, so we got 5% for repairs and maintenance, vacancy, CapEx. I always like to hold at least 15% aside of each month's profit for that war chest, because it's never a matter of if something's going to happen, it's more when something's going to happen. We may be able to adjust that because we have to go in and redo everything. So maybe we just hold 5% for repairs, vacancy, and we remove that CapEx. But let's see what the numbers play out with. Here we go. All right, so this could work. This could absolutely work. So $226 a month, pretty good, especially at a $16,000 sale price. Our all-in cash investment would be just over $12,000, and that's paying 10%. So we might be able to adjust that a little bit, but for this example, we're gonna leave it the way it is. more than likely, private funds will have a balloon payment on it, and then you can roll it into refinance it and roll it into either a DSCR or a conventional loan, which will actually bring that interest rate down pretty substantially. Cap rate, if you follow cap rates at all, this is quite possibly one of the best cap rates I've ever seen. Cash on cash return, 22%. Like it. So yeah, I mean, at these numbers, this is an amazing cash offer. Property taxes, seriously, they're $30 a month. I love it. All right, so we've broken everything down for the cash offer. We reviewed HUD. Now we're going to go and analyze this thing for a creative deal because $16,000, I'm sure they've had an offer like that already. They have been on the market for like a year and a half. So this thing would be a cash cow. So let's jump over to my creative calculator where you can get off of my website. Very simple, christhompsonteam.com. You can download this for free, use it, love it. My creative checklist is on there and also my creative contract. Use them, love them. If you have questions, book a call with me on that same website. I don't charge for that either. So let's dive into it. All right, so we said our ARV is going to be $80,000. This thing is all fixed up. Purchase price, we're going to go a little bit higher, but not certainly what they're asking. You know what? Let's run it as offer them that full 30 that they're asking for. And then we're going to give them a 2% interest rate. And then to figure out our PITI, I like to use bank rate. And remember, all of the links for everything will be below in the description. What did we say we're paying them? We're going to offer them their full ask of $30,000. And I'm actually going to say 0% down, 2% interest. Zip code is 31211. Property taxes a month or 30. Homeowners, I think it's going to be high, but we'll go with $100. Total payment, $241. PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That's incredible. So our PITI is 241. Our potential rent is 1,000. So we're going to put our gross cash flow at 759, putting $100 towards our war chest, and 150. How is that 150? Our management fee should only be 10%, not 15%. Our war chest should be 15%. Gotta watch out for those dyslexics. Getting your numbers backwards. So net cash flow, a little over $500 a month. This is a phenomenal deal. And we said we're going to do zero cash to the seller. The agent, honestly, just give them $250 to go away. There is no assignment fee because we're not dealing with a wholesaler. We're trying to go direct on this one. Closing costs, I have factored at 3.5%. Let's kick that up to 4%, just to be safe. So $1,200 for that. 2 months of holding. A good TC is going to cost you about $1,000. So for $3,000, and remember, we're getting private money for the purchase and, or excuse me, now we have to come out of pocket with all of this. So our cost of renovations, that's where I was forgetting, sorry. We had on the cash side, we rolled that into our loan. Okay, that looks more realistic. All right, $40,000 renovation. So for $43,000, we can make $500 a month, which does kick out the 7-year on this, but 0 down and 2% interest. I'll take that deal all day long to make $500. And you can honestly get a little more creative if you want and reach out and find either hard money or private money for the renovations. Once it's all done, you can refinance them out. And if the seller doesn't want to carry for a long time, you can do a short 1 to 2 year balloon on that once you get everything stable. And then you can refinance either conventionally or DSCR, pay the seller off, pay your hard money off. Now you got fixed debt on it. Personally, that's probably the route I would go. That way I can get that cash back in my pocket a lot quicker than that 500 bucks a month. So, what did you think about this deal at 1015 Haywood Road in Macon, Georgia? I think it's a phenomenal cash deal and it's an even better creative deal, depending on how you work your numbers and how you play your numbers. Um, Probably cash deal. I don't know. I personally like working with sellers and seller finance. I don't like banks. What can I say? Either way, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what your thoughts are. Drop them down in the comments below if you would, please. All of the links for everything that I use will be in the comment section below. That does it here for us on another episode of the Weekly Deal Analysis here in the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. We'll see you next time.